Every year, millions of animals from various species embark on epic journeys, true miracles of nature. Migratory patterns are like great theatrical performances, a majestic display of strength, endurance, and adaptation. The animals seem to be guided by a divine force. Some species undertake incredible migrations. There is one bird that holds the world record for migration, and adding up all of its trips throughout its life, it travels 2,400,000 kilometers, which is equivalent to 3 round trips to the moon or 60 trips around the Earth. But why do animals undertake these long journeys? How do they know which path to follow? Whales and acrobatic dolphins cross the seas. Birds and butterflies fill the sky with vibrant colors. On the plains, giant mammals like elephants, buffaloes, and wildebeests shake the earth in large migrations. Moving in synchrony, the animals are guided by ancestral instincts, tracing paths that evoke the wisdom of the life cycle on the planet. The planet is rich in animal life in every corner, from tiny ants to imposing elephants. Where least expected, there is a living being fighting for survival. Whether in the burning desert or the frozen oceans, life always finds a way to thrive. Most animals play an important role in the ecosystem. Some birds are pollinators, while large predators like lions and crocodiles maintain the balance of species. In nature, nothing happens by chance. Every great migration serves a grand purpose. The entire ecosystem benefits from the journeys of animals. Scientists estimate that there are more than 10 million animal species, although only 1.5 million have been classified and named. To survive the challenges of nature, animals must develop adaptations. And one of the most remarkable of these is their ability to undertake long-distance journeys, often thousands of kilometers. Some birds fly for 10 days straight, covering distances of over 50,000 kilometers. The world champions of migration are Arctic terns. These birds make round-trip journeys from pole to pole, covering incredible distances. These birds are some of the stars of today's adventure. Other animals, like wildebeests and zebras, gather in herds of nearly 2 million animals, heading toward fresh pastures and covering around 3,000 kilometers. This is one of the greatest wildlife spectacles on the planet. In terms of the number of animals, this migration is only surpassed by the one that takes place in South Sudan, known as the Great Nile Migration, where around 6 million antelopes move through the Boma and Badingilo national parks, crossing the border from South Sudan into Ethiopia. This great migration was discovered in the middle of this year, and there are a few images of it. In nature, there are animals that cross the oceans, with the most exuberant migrations being those of dolphins and whales. Along the way, they perform incredible acrobatics. Of all the whales, humpback whales are the most famous migrants. Each year, they travel an average of 25,000 kilometers. These imposing creatures are cosmopolitan, meaning they are found in all oceans. Thousands of animals leave their usual homes in search of new horizons. They seek abundant food, fresh waters, a warmer climate, or a safe refuge for reproduction. However, there are also less common reasons why animals migrate, such as the loss of their natural habitat due to deforestation or fires. Several species of birds, mammals, insects, and fish migrate from one place to another in search of favorable reproductive and environmental conditions. Animals use different means to migrate. Some float across the seas. Others prefer to swim. Some embark on long walks. In the skies, birds make the longest migrations, flying distances that can cover half the globe, requiring both endurance and navigation skills. Not all animals migrate in groups. Some prefer a solitary life. Sea turtles are notable examples of solitary migrants. They spend most of their lives alone, except when they are young and during the breeding season. Some animals prefer to migrate during the day and rest at night, while others are nocturnal, using the darkness to protect themselves from predators. Bats are nocturnal animals and famous migrators. They make long migrations. One species, the Nathosius bat, weighing less than 30 grams, flies nearly 2,000 kilometers from Russia to the French Alps on a super journey. Whether in tropical oceans, the sun-scorched plains of Africa, or the skies over the frozen poles, the struggle for survival is a daily challenge for animals. These great journeys show us the strength and endurance of wildlife, which always finds a way to survive and adapt to the harshest environments. But not all animals withstand the challenges of long-distance travel. In the great migration that occurs in the Serengeti, thousands of wildebeests and zebras lose their lives, teaching us the valuable lesson that the struggle for survival comes at a cost. Among the great events of nature, one stands out for its fascinating spectacle and test of endurance. The migration of birds shows the immense strength found in the animal kingdom, covering incredible distances during their annual migratory cycle. The extraordinary journey of birds is a stunning demonstration of the resilience and adaptability of these amazing animals who face climatic and geographical conditions across the globe. But of all the migrations, the most magical is the Great Migration of Wildebeests, which is among the largest on the planet. This is one of nature's oldest pilgrimages, taking place across the African plains. Thousands of wildebeests, accompanied by zebras and gazelles, crossed the Serengeti in Tanzania, heading toward the famous Masai Mara Reserve in Kenya. This movement shakes the earth, and the challenges faced by millions of animals are numerous. On this nature adventure, the animals follow a straight line with no distractions. For these journeys, they need vast amounts of energy, as the trip is long and full of obstacles. But in the end, a reward awaits them, which could be an oasis in the middle of the desert, as seen in the great migrations to the Okavango Delta, where elephants travel thousands of kilometers in search of water. One of the most diverse and rich ecosystems, home to animals of all sizes and shapes, is the ocean. In this environment, giant creatures and tiny ones coexist in a delicate balance. The largest animals on the planet, the majestic whales, and the tiny krill float in the currents. Every marine animal glides through the waters with its own grace and purpose. In this aquatic paradise, acrobatic dolphins leap gracefully, putting on an unparalleled natural spectacle. With a combination of strength, agility, and elegance, these marine animals are capable of performing an impressive range of aerial maneuvers that amaze onlookers. Dolphins are social animals that live in large groups called pods. Within these pods, dolphins form strong social bonds and collaborate in activities such as hunting and mutual protection. These animals often migrate in large groups to feed, and some species can consume up to 6 kilograms of food a day. Other fantastic creatures of the oceans also migrate, with the humpback whale migration being particularly famous. Groups of humpback whales begin their migration in May, swimming about 4,000 kilometers along the established route in the South Atlantic, heading toward the waters of the Abrolhos Bank, located in Brazil. But it's not just the large animals that migrate. Tiny creatures like butterflies and grasshoppers also travel great distances. One of the world's main rainforests, the Amazon, is the setting for large migratory movements. In this place, considered by many to be the lungs of the world, there is a rainy season lasting about 9 months, and from August to October, the region is marked by a drier climate. Every year, tiny creatures make migratory movements. The butterflies of the Amazon make great migrations, crossing cities and even countries to mate. The final destination of these graceful animals is the southern part of the state, although they also pass through areas like Mato Grosso. They always follow the same path, as they have genetic memory. In addition to butterflies, other birds make long migrations. The Amazon rainforest is rich in species of migratory birds. Here we find some of the most common and abundant, such as macaws and ducks. But there are also more exotic birds, considered by some to be the most beautiful in the world. Among the many bird species, we find the yellow warbler and the scarlet tanager. The scarlet tanager is a migratory bird native to North America, Central America, and the northwest of South America. In Brazil, it is found only in the northwest of the Amazon, and it can be spotted in the states of Amazonas, Rondônia, Acre, and Para near Marajo Island. With their vibrant colors and exuberant flights, birds beautify the skies of the Amazon, and from time to time, they embark on grand migrations. But it's not just birds that migrate in the Amazon. Dolphins, turtles, fish, and several mammals also make long journeys. Undoubtedly, the most famous migratory landscapes are found in Africa, a continent marked by its variable climate, with regions experiencing long periods of drought followed by times of abundance of food and water, prompting the most magnificent creatures to embark on large migrations. The Kalahari is the largest stretch of sand on Earth, and in this paradise, a miracle of nature occurs. The flooding of the world's largest delta, the Okavango Delta. Here, every year, a rare phenomenon takes place, a great flood. When the land is dry, the rain comes, filling it with water, hope, and wildlife. The desert fills with water and hope. Here, thousands of hungry elephants explore the plains. After surviving the drought, the animals finally find an abundance of water and food. Thousands of elephants arrive at Okavango. These magnificent animals are not only the largest land animals, weighing 6 tons and measuring 4 meters in height, but they also possess impressive intelligence. They are experts at finding water. The memory of these giants allows them to locate water sources even after decades. The elephants are led by the matriarchs, who teach their young how to find water. From March to May, these giants move in search of food sources. Elephant mothers, for generations, lead herds to the Okavango River. It is likely that an adult elephant has made more than 50 trips, as they live an average of 60 to 70 years in the wild. It's not just many elephants that pass through here, but also thousands of wildebeests and buffaloes. The water draws large herds to the grasslands. Where there was once a desert, now there is life. Thousands of buffaloes occupy the space in search of green vegetation. They have walked many kilometers to be here. This place is a banquet for all animals. The lion, with lionesses and cubs, seeks a quiet place to rest. For now, the buffaloes can rest easy as the lions, after a long walk, are too tired to hunt. As the Okavango River fills, it attracts various animals to this land during the long, dry winter. Large mammals such as elephants, hippos, giraffes, buffaloes, zebras, and several species of antelopes move through this area. But this abundance does not last forever. Animals must take advantage of this abundance of water and food, for the channels will dry up again and the water level will drop. When that happens, elephants, birds, and all the creatures of this sanctuary will have to migrate to another place, which will become their new home. Where there were once vast rivers, the environment will return to being muddy and partly dry. The cycle of wet and dry seasons is what makes this region so unique. Other species of animals migrate here during the dry season, until the rains return and flood this desert once more. For now, only summer rains fall in this territory. The Okavango will remain dry for several more months until the cycle begins again with the return of the Great Flood. The drought forces the large herds to move in search of water, but on the way, not all will survive. The desert is a hostile place, and only the strong survive. The little water that remains here is not enough for everyone. It's time to leave, but where to? Only destiny will tell. Another place in Africa is famous for being the stage of great migrations. Kenya is a country with cinematic landscapes located in eastern Africa. In this country is the Masai Mara Savanna, one of the most famous parks in Africa, covering an area of 1,500 square kilometers. Every year, in the month of July, millions of wildebeests cross the fields of Masai Mara, along with zebras and gazelles, migrating toward the plains of the Serengeti in search of fresh grass, returning in October. The Great Migration is one of the most famous and impressive animal events in the animal kingdom, involving millions of herbivores. It is estimated that this great phenomenon of nature involves 1.3 million wildebeests, 500,000 Thomson's gazelles, and 200,000 zebras. The migrations are a feast for lions, cheetahs, hyenas, and crocodiles. During the Great Migrations, animals face many challenges. Surviving attacks from large predators is just one of them. They also face river currents and struggle against exhaustion. These migratory cycles play an important role in the ecosystem, providing pasture regeneration. In this nature spectacle, not only do the animals benefit, but also the plants and the planet itself. In this region, another animal also has the habit of migrating in search of better habitats. The Masai Mara is a paradise for bird enthusiasts. It is home to an incredible variety of these magnificent creatures. To the north of Masai Mara, a magical scene unfolds on the shores of Lake Nakuru, home to thousands of flamingos. In these shallow waters, there is an abundance of algae and crustaceans, forming a rich feast for these elegant birds. Flamingos are nomadic animals that undertake large migrations in search of food and suitable places to breed. They are social creatures that live in large colonies. Each year, flamingos migrate due to seasonal changes in water levels and food availability. On their journey to a new home, they face numerous challenges, from predation by birds of prey and other animals, to the impacts of climate change and human activities. Kenya is bathed by the Indian Ocean, where a magnificent creature carries out great migrations. Sea turtles are solitary animals that spend most of their lives at sea, except for the adult females, who seek beaches to lay their eggs. Turtles travel long distances, facing strong currents thanks to a sophisticated navigation and orientation mechanism. They can detect the intensity of the Earth's magnetic field. Their brains are equipped with magnetite, a mineral highly sensitive to the direction of the magnetic field, which is used to create magnets. On their great journey across the sea, these magnificent creatures cross borders between countries, navigating almost all the oceans. A fascinating fact about sea turtles is that they are able to return exactly to the beaches where they were born, even after spending many years in distant marine waters far from their birthplace. But among all the fantastic animals of our wonderful planet, none is as famous for its migrations as birds. Not only are they the most famous, but they are also the most resilient and adaptive for long journeys. Their bodies, designed for soaring, allow them to expend less energy while flying. In spring and fall, a breathtaking spectacle unfolds in the skies of many parts of the world when millions of birds undertake long and dangerous journeys between their breeding grounds. Most birds prefer to travel at night, as the wind currents are gentler. These nocturnal flights have another advantage. They navigate by the moon and stars. Typically, birds follow a pre-established route from north to south, which provides them with a better chance of resting and recharging during the long trips. However, these migrations are not without challenges, even with careful planning. Along the way, birds face adverse weather conditions, dehydration, hunger, and the threat of predators. Among all bird migrations, one stands out for its distance. Arctic terns embark on round-trip journeys from pole to pole. In a journey monitored by scientists, a distance of more than 96,000 kilometers was recorded. For experts, this achievement earned the title of the longest migration in the world of any animal. On average, each bird flies 70,000 kilometers per year. Since each tern lives around 34 years, throughout its lifetime, its migrations can add up to 2.4 million kilometers per individual. This is equivalent to traveling to the moon and back 3 times, or making 60 trips around the Earth. Migrations are an essential part of the bird's life cycle, repeating throughout their existence and passing knowledge from generation to generation. Half of the 10,000 known bird species in the world migrate. These migrations occur among songbirds, seabirds, waders, and even raptors. While Arctic terns hold the record for the longest migration, there is a bird that surpasses them in endurance. The bar-tailed godwits, which breed in the Arctic, are endurance champions. They make non-stop migratory flights of over 12,000 kilometers, crossing from the Arctic to New Zealand over the Pacific Ocean for 11 consecutive days. Birds are the masters of migration, not only for covering vast distances, but also for traveling at high speeds. The black-tailed godwit can cover 6,000 kilometers at a speed of 96 kilometers per hour. They fly non-stop between Europe and sub-Saharan Africa, making them the speed champions of flight. Small birds, such as hummingbirds, also face gigantic journeys. Hummingbirds, some of the smallest birds in North America, travel distances of over 9,000 kilometers between the Rocky Mountains and the forests of Mexico. On these incredible journeys, birds navigate using natural cues, such as the position of the sun, stars, and moon. They are equipped with magnetic compasses that assist them in their travels. It's as if their bodies have an internal GPS, preventing them from getting lost. These adaptations, the result of millions of years of evolution, allow them to travel even to unfamiliar territories. Whether by genetic inheritance or learning, birds always manage to return to their natural habitat, even in the face of challenges such as predators and adverse climates. Changes in environmental conditions alert birds that it's time to fly and search for a new habitat. Their internal biological clocks detect the right moment to migrate and return home. These incredible adaptations teach us that nature always finds mechanisms that allow animals to survive, even when faced with great challenges. However, not all birds manage to adapt to environmental changes, and this is part of the natural cycle. The life of birds, like that of all animals, is filled with uncertainties. On the other hand, what is certain is that every year, millions of birds, aquatic animals, land mammals, and insects will repeat the eternal cycle of migration, always in search of better conditions. Migrations are not just a spectacle of nature, but a way for animals to fight for their lives.